Okay, I'm doing a demonstrative action at the moment for my Fleet account. God forbid everybody get it wrong, which from this very real moment in this very real home action live movie. Yeah, everybody got my part wrong. Okay, so now if we have, let's see here, we have the center of, like, say, a pretend it's a football field, because not everybody knows what, and the American pigskin football, not the European soccer, which we had to change because the American soccer mom became a problem. Right, yeah, no, European soccer, they still called football, so this way it was respectable. I think you're European soccer chicks. I don't think I would like them. I mean, I haven't met any, but I don't know, the American version is not the best, so. Okay, anyway, those cosmic kids, I'll just tell you, like, they think, yeah, well, I wasn't going up against everybody till you fucking forced me into the commode with all your fucking decisions. Okay, so here we are at CLYVESDALE. And here we are. So we have Clivesdale on one side, and we have the American quarter horse on the other for Ichabod and his crane. American quarter. Actually, it really would be quarter house, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's go with quarter house at the moment. All right, so American quarter house. So we have one quarter back from receiving CLYVESDALE team. And then we have CLYVESDALE defense lineman and tackle. Okay. And here in America, let's see, they would be the receiving end. So, right, that is where the question comes in. Okay. We're going to put my location, my goddess name for the SS, all the levels of the plan. So we're just going to go with goddess and YX. All right, now, here's my question for my Clivesdale. That understand that the size, the Ragnar, right? The Ragnar, the Viking Ragnar, like the most handsome, like respectable, like tall, like broad-shouldered, like Clivesdale stock, you know, like strong, right? That's what they say in like Viking history, and he's going to have many sons. That was the game plan for one princess being born in an American quarter house that was Clivesdale stock herself, but needed the Clivesdale defense, tackle, and strategists from Ragnar's size Vlad team, right, to come charging over the line, grab either the quarterback that was waiting in America. I mean, I would have sent someone ahead of time, said, you know what, right, I've heard of Hitler, right, he's got a good name in the Nazis, right, okay, then we've got the good name of Stalin and Marx in the St. Petersburg iceberg territory and the Red Square in Moscow, right? Okay, so we've heard of these things. They all have great reputations because they're the only evil I heard about when I woke up. I was like, tell me more about these evil men. I was like, no. Right, yeah, okay, no, because I know, right? You got a flaccid face going on. So, right, no, I need the rigid IDs. What are they? Like, I was so hungry. I was like, tell me every evil you got. I was like, I need to know, where's my defense and strategy team? No, we set something up before I got here. I need them all. Right, okay, so being that everybody's last year villain is my superstardom, like, angelic, like, but man, like, my last hope. Let's put it that way for one little girl. Great. Okay, so that's me. Here's my attempt as I'm being received in the end zone, being America, with the quarter house. So that means there's more than one person in the house, and none of them are related to me since I grew like at Hannigan and like Miss Annie's orphanage. Okay, so we got American quarterback. I got the from receiving Clivesdale team. I would have really preferred if you did a quarterback, you would have sent someone from like Hitler approved to make friendly with the boutique things that I woke up to every day, being Linda and Lou. So this way you could have just taken me and been like, whoop, there we go. And whatever. Or if you had a process that worked better for breeding stock of like extraterrestrials in America, yeah, that would have been nice too. But here we are. In America, they're not so smart. Okay, so here we are. And so here's the 7-headed hydra of grandpas that I really was counting on for one marriage. We've got Clivesdale. We've got the defense lineman tackle. Ready? Right. See, I don't see fishermen. I don't see baiting on here. I don't see a flywheel that has a special mechanic being talked about here. I see a birthing plan of an extra special star goddess for one extra. It doesn't take the specialness away from any of your other little tykes that might have been born on a zodiac. We're focus, butterfly. We are just speaking about one child. Zen. Right, okay. So now in my one selfish situation where, go figure, right, I wake up with a very interesting plan because this is what I expected the grandpas to have done for me, being that on the prelude where, at world scale, you can't run the whole world by yourself. You need a team. Got that. I really hoped that we had put together an all-star spectacular that we could work on continuance. Right. Yeah. Okay, so now when that's the case, and that's the expectation, and that's the requirement for world safety, health, and leadership, and the policing, patrolling of the evil bad men everybody complains about, right? Where they're not the 7 most hated names on the world scale, because those are actually the superheroes, but you humans are so fucking broken, right? Yeah, they like to be Right, whatever. So we know who we are. All right, so now on here, there was a possibility, I don't know when it arose, I'm sure that it was on the prelude to avoid, most certainly, of 2 prior Manhattan Project problems, being this one family that was going by the name Romer, which we put into the Jewish and the Arabic Jewish and the Hebrew Jewish could agree on one thing, that the one that was important to the whole world's future and their own children, the only one that was being asked to be put in an important spot and please work with everybody just for one marriage, that's it. So this way they could quietly help and not set off any alarm bells or stir any silt. Because again, we come to this world, we don't bring your history books or what your area is teaching your people or what word you heard from far and elsewhere, while there may have been some problems with the bait and tackle team and the allure of some new money-making schematics that may not have brought you the best foot forward in understanding of who all of the world's most important people were, because they already had the name in place, but the history had not been written because it's a moving forward project. But anyway, I know this gets confusing for humans. So on that, I know that there's some problem between Palestine, and again, I don't know your map and your history. I don't go searching for things, and I can't rely on anything when I woke up. So there's some kind of 5,000-year-old something or other between Palestine and Jerusalem, and the Hebrews are somewhere in Jerusalem, and there's some Arabs somewhere in Jerusalem. I don't know what they practice. I haven't met enough to get a full, and it's not connected to this with the tattoo. I might have met you under a different uniform looking the same, but no, it's a different story. So now, before this, the route with the tattoo was the most dangerous route, which is why we built you a prelude game plan of, I don't want to argue, whatever his name is, whatever it is, I mean, it's just who I belong with. The problems with the tattoo on my leg is the possibility of a fishmonger. We gave you a story about Gollum. Gollum itself, there's 2 spellings. One is with, there's 2 L's, 2 lowercase L's in English. That is for the brimstone Judah, Judah. That's the proper, belly is the D, so it's the proper birth with brimstone, amber eyes being the one color, because it's an eye for an eye. And not that I'm going to take your eye out, it's that the 2-tone iris that I bring and his 1-tone iris, we're supposed to be eye to eye together, just he and I as a fidelity, marriage clip of safety. So that's the eye for an eye, that it has nothing to do with hurting anybody at that. He and I just want each other, and everybody will thank them for participating. So that's where the Clivesdale, then there was a problem, because in this actuality, in this reality with this tattoo at this juncture, because you can always pivot, but apparently they're steering the Titanic in more dangerous water every day. In this one, there's the fishmonger with 1 leg of genetic Clivesdale, let's call it, which is myself in the American Quarter House, which is New York State at the moment, along with a couple others the DC Comics should understand, without angering and setting off. So here's the one name of the one person with the bottom of the fish barrel. When you're at the fishmonger, it's the last one. It's usually the weakest, the sickest, the smelliest, and the grossest. Right, okay, it actually has a name and a date. It's Jason Peter Romer. It's 1976. So if your name is Romer elsewhere, we're trying to preserve that. We're trying to avoid the ugliest man who has a duck walk. Genetically, it's out to the sides. He's got a short torso. It looks and he's got the ass of an ape. It's the weirdest. It's I mean, it's painful to watch him move, but whatever. We were trying to avoid him. He lived in Levittown, Long Island, New York. So that was the modus operandi. He's the first American quarterback horse I'm sorry, not quarterback. He was the American quarter horse, the first one. Usually a quarter horse, it's mixed with either a mule or something else. I mean, it's a utility. We're not judging the scale. We're not basing all of America off of these two men. We're not trying to upset everybody. It's just in my Clivesdale birth plan, the one. For world safety, security, or whatever that means, we're not chasing questions or answers. The one that I belong to, there could be a problem in the tattoo on the ankle route for the fishmonger's golem son, if that breeding plan is not installed correctly. So that happened down this route, which I don't know what the outcome moving forward is. The apple orchard that stole my venomous, poisonous apple and put it under glass. Actually, it's greenhouse glass to further study, research, and cause noxious chemical outcomes to the genetics living in New York area. Particularly, I'm pretty sure it's the whole Americas is the slice of the pie that they were really cracking down on in the stolen apple orchard estate, while I'm in this fishmonger position of genetics in an American quarter horse of disgusting genetics that I didn't ask for. And the second disgusting would be Anthony Tiafrio 1975. He has a more handsome, symmetrical face. Like if you're an artist and you're going to draw him, you might want to draw him. Maybe. I mean, he's not like, I hear Brad Pitt is like the epitome of good looks in the American whatever. So now, so Anthony's not like that, but I mean, he's decent. And he's short and he's small. He's like he's a quarter horse. I mean, he's not a Clivesdale. Clivesdales are like stocky and like they bring presents, right? They can pull wagons in teams, like, yeah, right? Yeah, a quarter horse is like, you got to be careful how much weight bearing and load you put on the. I mean, you can. It's just not recommended depending on the ratio. I mean, who am I talking to? Mechanics, but anyway. Proper kind of mechanics before they got whatever. So then we've got the Anthony thing. So on the outside, he looks symmetric. It's the synergy, SYNERGY with Anthony. That's a problem. He has the inner spiritual being of the other golem from the Lord of the Rings, the one with the disgusting skin and it's holding the ring like, my precious, like I'm a meal ticket that he like clutched onto in like a spiritual realm and it's one ring and he's holding on to it and he's not letting the Clivesdale defense strategists get me away for some reason. And for some reason, are you guys all in New York? Like, did you come over my defense strategy? Are you in the noxious fumes of New York as well? In a greenhouse gas effect of lazy, forgot what to do or how to do it, can't chase a logical tetra program on your own without asking for an assist? I'm just curious why you would allow this outcome and so long for me to be hurt and raped by the two American quarter horses while Clivesdale's waiting for me, and that's the only outcome that's acceptable at world stage and world scale. No, that's a for certain. And the expeditious manner in which it needed to be done and officially recorded with other people. Veet, fast, fast, fast. I don't understand why you would allow, at this point, 42 years, 15,000 circadian and circadian rhythms in a flywheel with extra special purpose. I don't understand why you would allow 15,000 rotations of that extra special mechanism in the wrong position where everything is left open to interpretation because nobody's performing properly. And then there's other enemies watching with expectations that are then moving forces in a really dangerous strategy that then quickens the pace. And the good old Clivesdale defense strategy team seems to be on an upside-down capsized situation, along with the one princess that they forsook in the beginning, because they decided to shake down the receiving Clivesdale whatever in some forceful manner. I was just born here. I became a little caterpillar. So being that you can't throw me, literally, over the water, but you can steal me, if that's the word you use, pick me up, whatever, from the family. I mean, they've done it throughout area, space, and time. I think in the prelude, we said either make friends with them or just go to the hospital and take it out and just pay off the hospital. Duh, in the nursery. I mean, this is not that hard. I heard you guys had some really scary reputations. I am like, where? I mean, it is like, holy crap. So now, at one of the clans of important Hydra heads for interviews, there's apparently a section of grandpas, is what I call them, dads, they said, well, you don't like your dad, but you like your grandpa, your no-no. I said, yeah. He said, great. He says, I'll be grandpa, and then we'll have the other gentleman who doesn't like children so much. He'll be the no-no, because he says that a lot. I was like, okay. Or he says in our language. I said, oh, that's fine. I said, so I'm the nice grandpa who likes children. I have patience. I can teach you a lot of things. And you came to study with me. I said, right, correct. He says, what I need from you is I will grant you some of this mechanical knowledge of what I've picked up throughout the years, but I just ask that when we go to the grandfather or the no-no that does not have as many patients, and he actually sits a little higher in the family than I, that you please speak proper but even keel. He said, like a flat. He says, don't get too excited. And he said, and just whatever, and wait until he speaks to you. I said, correct. I said, I understand that. He said, because he doesn't have as many patients, and he is a much more influential person than myself in the family. I said, okay, I understand. And so he said, and if you would say a kind word when asked, if asked, because we like to work off of saying nice things about one another. I said, absolutely. I said, that sounds fair. So then I went into some kind of mechanical workshop where he wasn't giving me answers. He was giving me like if this is a flat ring, right? We call this ring a nut, N-U-T, in your New York area. And then they just came out with the people that were a little older that still wanted to work in the shop. They came out with this one. What does this one look like? And that one, the second one, had like two prongs, P-R-O-N-G-S on it. And I said, it looks like angel, or it looks like wings, W-I-N-G-S. He said, very good. He says, so what, if I was going to create a name for this, what would I create it? I said, well, I don't know. How do you create names? And he says, okay, well, for the first one, he says, I'll help you. This is the way that we create names. And he says, you take, this family, like this gentleman, was much more fancy than my family. Like my family didn't even know process, so they couldn't teach me the stepping stones to then tetra myself. So I was trying to formulate a way and a process myself at 3 and 4 to captivate and capture as much human usefulness as I could. So this way I could be self-sufficient and find my way to wherever I needed to be quiet, proper, but doing the speak back to the brokenness of the Impact Zone boutique of clothing things that I was born to. Whilst I waited, since Clivesdale apparently dropped the ball on the defense strategy and having them in place in America. So now, let's think about this. So then, right, we went with the more formal, more important, whatever you call him, because again, we just say family member. We were keeping that tetragrammar, like, right. And then that was it. But again, like, that's what I really loved, is that it was a little girl. I just love going to places where they appreciate and they have some function, skill, some trade, some knowledge that they enjoyed. And like, it was a mechanical shop, I believe, or a machinist shop perhaps, or he just had samples. Maybe it was a classroom, I think he said, for the other children from my I guess my Zodiac program or whatever. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And I really was appreciative of the fact that they would invite me in, and that they would grant me such a important, sophisticated system of interviewing directly with whomever that was, because I don't have name or whatever, but I got a roundabout way of explaining it, which is how Tetra works in grammar and grammatron. But so I did that already when I was little, in expectation of just as the gentleman who was teaching me the ring and the wing, the nut, and then the wing nut, its purpose, the threads, the vocabulary. So I had a base of something unusual that my family did not know about, so I could speak nicely and specificity about this one individual that I was meeting with, to the other head of the family, which I had no problem with. I can't remember really the second part of that interview, but the machinist's shop was like one of my favorite, I don't know, flywheels, I suppose. Yeah, I'm still sitting in the wrong American quarterhouse. It feels more like a slaughterhouse, personally. But, I mean, I did warn the humans. I don't know why my Clivesdale. I know there's some inner fighting, but that shouldn't have been pushed upon me. There's much more important, more sophisticated process that needs to be completed. And getting into individual fights and having to embarrass everybody at the American quarterhouse and beyond into begrudged territory of, you thought you grew up right, really? Then where are your results? I don't see results. Results speak volumes. Without results, you have nothing but failure at 100%. That's where we're at.